You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre and Willsy is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dre and Willsy.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 1130 podcast. What's goody? Appreciate everyone tuning back into the podcast show. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30, man. I got a dope show coming up, man. For real. Before everyone who's new to the show, new to the podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Like it, leave a comment, and share it. Do all that great stuff. And definitely don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, I got a dope show lined up, man. I got an awesome guest that's joining me here, man. My guy, J Haleem. He's an author, coach. He's a speaker, you guys, man. We're going to be chopping it up with him, with his amazing story and all that more, man, for real. But we ain't going to waste no more time. We're going to bring on my guy, Jay. How's it going, man?
I'm good, brother. Thank you so much. I see you a DC boy. Got me excited.
Yeah. Born and raised in Washington, D.C., man. So where you from?
Jersey. But I lived in DC. I lived in Laurel for 6 years.
Oh, okay. In Laurel for 6 years?
Yeah, my wife was from DC. Yeah, she's from Northeast.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's where I'm at right now, though. I grew up in Southeast, and as soon as I got my own place, I moved over to the Northeast side. So yeah, DC born and raised, man. Appreciate it. That's what's up. How life treating you though?
Life is good. No complaints at all. You know, I'm out here in the desert now. I live in Vegas now, so just happy that it ain't as hot no more. We got through another summer.
Man, Vegas, there's a whole lot going on in Vegas, man.
It's a special place. It's getting even more special. I only been here a couple years, but they're doing so much. They're making Vegas into one of those towns, not just one of those just come in and gamble. They're doing a whole lot around the whole Vegas metropolitan area, so it's about to be special.
Yeah, you're right, man. I appreciate it. Once again, man, Jay, I appreciate you coming through on the 1130 podcast show. But for my listeners and viewers, man, I like to allow my guests to tell my listeners, man, about themselves, man. So the floor is yours, man.
Oh man, so I'm Jamar J Haleem, Washington, born and raised Newark, New Jersey. I just a regular dude, man. I call myself that. People around me don't. But yeah, I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, coming up in the crack era. So went through a lot of those things that the crack era brought. Whole family was strung out on drugs, my mom included, raised by my grandmother. But she was forced to raise 10 of her grandchildren, and she got full custody of all of us. I'm the oldest. So right coming into my teen years, they said, she's like, you got a place to sleep. Eat if you get in the house in time, but other than that, you gotta figure it out. And so I did. I hit the streets. I was always a good kid. I went to school, never thought about dropping out. But when I got out of school, I got busy. And so I did that all through high school and, became what they would call a juvenile delinquent. Escaped by the skin of my teeth to school. The hard streets of Newark, went to South Carolina for college and then became a felon. Down there because just went down there and applied to trade and became a felon. But again, as I said, I was a good person, never was hurting nobody or nothing like that. I just was about getting my money. So I graduated college with honors, but I couldn't get a job because I was a felon. So I went into full-time entrepreneurship. Been successful doing entrepreneurship, having this business, that business, the third. But about 10 years ago, I had moved to Maryland for a while after I got out of college. And then I came down back to South Carolina where I became a felon. And it was rough. We came through that 08 era where, the housing market was crazy. My wife was working on Capitol Hill, right? You from DC, so she's working right by Eastern Market, 600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
And she lost her job, and I sold my business at the time to make sure that we were okay, because everything we had was like condo was worth less money, way less money, everything. You know how that went. So we went back to South because it was cheaper. And but I'm a felon, and that's why I became a felon at. And in South Carolina was nowhere near progressive as a DC, Maryland area. So I'm right back to square one again. And I had a camera. I picked up a camera because I was dibbling and dabbling in the music industry and filming and things of that nature. So that's all I had. And I found out my son was about to be born. And so I tried to sell the camera. I did successfully sell it to my pastor, but he gave it back to me 2 weeks later and was like, I think he's like, God told me I want you to use it. He want you to use that camera. So I took photography extremely serious at that time and went hard on it. Became a six-figure earner as a photographer, award winning. I worked with NFL, WNBA, Amtrak, Save the Children Foundation, multiple law firms, major law firms, all type of people. And I started helping people to look like myself. I skipped some things, but we can get to some of that before. But in the middle of all that, I came up with this mantra: I won't starve. And I started a workshop, which was in 2017, I Won't Starve experience, to teach other entrepreneurs, other would-be entrepreneurs, how to go out and do the same thing, especially people who had my background and been through the things that I've been through. But it morphed into a whole movement. As you can see, the clothes is now a nonprofit called I Won't Starve Academy, where we focus on helping out young, primarily African-American young men, but we don't turn no young men away, but teaching them about career development, entrepreneurship, and just overall how to be good young brothers.
Hey man, I dig that. I definitely dig that. What got you to be a convicted felon?
Oh man, so I was doing some of everything. Well, I had a bunch of charges, but my felony charge was obtaining property under false pretenses. So I was doing scamming before it was important, before it was a thing. Now, how they making rap music about it. Actually, with the drugs I sold, I felt bad about telling people about the scam portion, but now they rapping about it. So so I had a few drug charges, but what I got caught for a felony, the felony charge was obtaining property under false pretenses. So over 100,000. So that's how that go.
Yeah. So how was that? Obviously, as a black man having a felony over your head, it's hard for you to, obviously to, get the sort of point A to point B, as far as getting jobs and stuff like that. How was that? And also trying to, come up.
Man, that's a great question. See, when I graduated college and I got A's and B's in college, because I didn't go away. I had a good amount of money. I had a nice lawyer. And school, man, school is great. When I was coming out of high school, I had got locked up a couple times my senior year. Then my last time getting locked up as an adult, right before I graduated. So now I got out of that because I was going to school. Hey, he's accepted to this college. He could do this. He could do this. He's a first time offender as an adult. Get that thrown under the rug. Well, same situation. Well, he owed a bunch of money. Okay, he got it. He got people. We said people donated, but that wasn't the case. I had some bread, put up enough money, and I had a good lawyer, and they had, I got all these good grades on my senior year of college, about to graduate. All right, let him stay home. If he can do this, we'll put him on probation. Cool. I'm thinking I got out of it, graduate with all these good grades, go get a job. No. Go get another job. No. Go get another job. No. And I mean, I'm hired at these jobs. And then when my background come back, they rescind my offer letter. I done signed the paperwork, everything.
Yeah.
Just waiting on the background. I never was a smoker, so I ain't ever had to worry about the urine sample. But yeah, you do that and do your background, wait a week or two. When they come back, you know what? Yeah, we offered you a job. We got to take it away from you. So it was crazy, but I just wasn't a quitter, man. So I started a cleaning business as soon as I got out of college. After I had like 3 of those situations happen. And that's when I moved to DC because I was doing houses in South Carolina. My wife she had graduated a year ahead of me from college and moved back home. So I moved up there with her and got married. And my business was doing well up there until everything went crazy. And so I wasn't really worried about a job or nothing like that. And then when everything went crazy, I had to sell my business and we went back. We had my daughter and we went back because it was cheaper. We was familiar with South Carolina, went to college, went down there for cheaper. I didn't think about this is where you became a felon. They don't think like Maryland think, they're way more conservative. So here I am back in the space. Now I'm working an $8 an hour job in South Carolina, cleaning floors when I done had a multiple 6-figure cleaning business, doing multiple things in the area, in your area, in the DC area.
I like that. You said you sold your camera to your pastor and he gave it back to you. What was your initial thought on that? Knowing that you were sort of be a sort of a photographer, or enjoy
But
that.
man, that it was so crazy because I was doing very well with my cleaning business up in DC, and my daughter was born in '08, and I had bought a camera just to take pictures and film her. And I
Okay.
was doing that. And then I had some artists I was working with. So I'll be at the studio filming them, taking pictures of them while they doing some stuff. I was managing some talent. But I didn't care nothing about, taking photos for work. That was just something I was doing. And then I created a blog, which actually did well. And we would just go and film people I'm interviewing. And, I did like Ice Cube and some other major people, Tony Rock, Chrisette Michelle, nephew Tommy. Again, so I'm like, all right, cool. But now I got to go back to South Carolina. None of these celebrities are there. None of that stuff is there. So, but I got this $2,000 camera and I ain't got no money. I'm a hood dude. I'm not sitting here with no camera without no bread. I can get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? I put it on eBay. I remember having an argument with my father-in-law that day, and I called my pastor because my pastor actually was a friend of mine before he became a pastor. So I'm kicking it to him like a homie. And he's like, you need something? I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I got a couple dollars, but I just put his camera on eBay. Dude on eBay said he wanted it. He's like, man, hold up a second. Call me back. He said, I'm gonna call you back in a minute. Call me back. Said, man, bring that camera over here. Gave me the money. I said, cool. A couple weeks later, we meeting up for something at the church. He like, I want to talk to you for a minute. I was like, what's that? What you want to talk about? He's like, here, man. I said, what's this? He's like, it's the camera. He's like, God told me to tell you to use it. I said, you need the money back? He said, nah. And I just took it as a sign, man, because I keep it all the way a buck. I had already been on the phone with my other homie, like, yo, I need a few of them things. I'm about to bust this move. And I hadn't been in the street in years at that point. But my back was against the wall. I'm back in South Carolina where I know how to wiggle. I'm like, hey, I'm about to make it happen. But that told me I didn't need to do that. And once I got the camera, I really took it seriously at that point. And of course, it didn't happen overnight, but over the next few years, I became super nice with it, and I was able to, it took me across the world.
Hey, I like that. I definitely like that, man. You speaking of overnight, man. Can you tell people how it necessarily doesn't really happen overnight? Even though you went from working, $8 hour shift job to, owning your own business to working with multiple organizations, out there and stuff like that. And for, Black people, I think some of us tend to kind of like view it in a certain perspective, especially maybe social media or whatever type of, way you consume your media. That some things, people think that it just happens overnight though. But how was that journey for you though? Obviously, like you said, it didn't happen overnight.
It don't happen overnight, man. And people need to realize that. And enough people, not just me, are telling people that, but it's too many other people telling us that it does. And so they're drowning it out. And even when we talk about consuming information on social media, when we're telling them these stories, that shit, excuse my French, ain't getting pushed to the front. The garbage is being pushed to the front. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is that overnight success can take 5, 10, 15 years, depending upon what you're doing. But it's what you consider success. I was working $8 an hour 10 years ago, literally to the date. You know what I mean? They didn't record and I was making $8 an hour while taking photos, while running cars back and forth to an auction from a cat I went to college with who had a dealership who would let me go do that as another side hustle to make money while selling bootleg movies. Because my brother would send me movies from Jersey back home down there to sell movies. So I'm doing everything to eat at that time while I'm shooting the pictures. Now, when I told you about my pastor, that was the year before. That was around the same time in 2012 when I got the camera back. So it's a year and I'm still working $8 an hour, cleaning toilets. I just had a cleaning business. You in DC, I had the T-Mobile office building in Beltsville. I had the recycling plant in Baltimore. I had multiple churches in DC area, in Gaithersburg. All the 7-Eleven stores in Montgomery County, we had a contractor, right? So I'm doing all this big business, and now I'm back to cleaning toilets for $8 an hour. This is the journey. I stood tall. I was good at my job because I didn't stay there. When I left the job a year later in 14, I was making about 13, 14 hours an hour, and I've been promoted. But at the end of the day, it wasn't me sitting there saying, well, I'm mad at this job because I don't have a business. I was good at whatever I put my hands on. And I was showing up, like the way I was supposed to. They can count on me, and that's practice for your business. And once I got to that point where the next year I got an office space to shoot, very small little matchbox situation, but it was okay. And the work started coming. I was like, I can leave. And that's why IWontStarve was born, because that was my social media hashtag, which now I own and trademark. I would put, when I left my job, everybody said, you're not going to be able to get another job. Why would you do that to your family? I said, IWontStarve. And so every time I got another job, I said it, IWontStarve. Every time I shot a big event, IWontStarve. Then I started making t-shirts. Then I started just doing whatever I needed to do. But it took me until 2017 before I became a six-figure photographer. So you got a 12 when I decided I was going to do it, to 2017 before I became a six-figure earner.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about those people that was telling you, why would you do this to your family? Like, what they didn't, non-believers at that, though.
The funny thing is, some of them are now my biggest fans. But you can't worry about them, though, and I spent too much of my life worrying about that. Coming from where I came from, a lot of people I thought had a better idea than I did, because I came from the worst. And so I fell victim to that. I fell victim into not believing. I ain't never had a problem with believing in me, but I thought that believing in other people was better than believing in me, because they came from a two-parent home, or because you were a older person who had a college degree and you seemed semi-successful. But it was a lot of that was hiding. They were saying that they were successful. They knew they were more successful than me, so they can influence me. They could put stuff on me, and that was horrible. I forgive them for that. I don't deal with them, but I forgive them for it because I didn't know. But now that I know, I can forgive myself, because you can forgive yourself for your ignorance. What you don't know, it's okay. The problem is when you do know better and don't do better. So now that I know, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. I dig that. I definitely dig that, man. Hey, look, some people ain't always along for the ride, man, and you just gotta leave them behind. Especially those non-believers, man. So I definitely dig that. Like you also mentioned your mantra, though. I won't starve, though. Well, how did that more so come about? More so just being a hustler, or just never wanted to give up?
Man, IWontStarve came from me saying that I didn't want to stick a middle finger in people's face. So I'll just say this. That's truly how that was, because I was just at that point. I was tired of people always having something to say about what I was doing, whether it be, family members, in-laws, people who's supposed to be mentors, people, you start learning that people not really there for you. People not really in your corner. People want to see you do what they want you to do. They're not thinking about you. I've been a hustler since I was 13 years old. And a good one at that. I'm 19, 20 years old with a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? A part owner of a restaurant. Like, you should have said to me, hey, this young brother trying to do something legit. Let me get behind him because he got it. But no, it was never that. It was always, nah, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. That's not right. That was projecting you onto me. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't have did that, because if you got love for somebody, you to tell them what's best for them, not what's best for you. And they didn't do that. So when I speak to people, when I coach individuals, I'm trying to make you the best you, not make you the best me. And I'm not going to stop you from going past me. If you got something that's going to do way better than I'm doing, I want to get behind you and support it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to, what is like crabs in a bucket. Some people don't want to let you to get past them. Some people, especially us black people, we don't want to see the next brother succeed and feel like your time is not gonna come, and which it is though. But I feel like it's enough out here for everyone unless you go get it.
A lot of people want you to do things the way they want you to do it, and that's it. You know what I mean? They can't imagine you being in the space without them giving an okay. So it's just one of those situations. And I've been there. I mean, I picked up some mentors along the way, and they were wrong. They were horrible mentors. And I realized that now looking back, like, oh man, like you really didn't show me. Like I had people around me who was into real estate. And I said I wanted to get into real estate. They never told me how to get into real estate. They just was telling me to do what they wanted me to do first. Oh, let me see your credit. Let me try to do this. Why? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. And no, you're not going to tell me how to do it. Once I got to it myself, being an investor now, I'm like, man, I could have been here, but you really was holding me back from getting here. And that pissed you off later. But it's like, damn, you know, my goal is just don't do that to nobody else. I tell people in my business, I'm like, look, I'll give you anything that you want from me. But if you asking me to do it for you, that's what the charge coming up. So I help you get government contracts. If that's what I can help people do that, right? All right, cool. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. You go do it. Now, if you want me to do it, you're gonna get an invoice. Why would I stop you from doing something? I want to get paid for what I do. I'm not stopping you from doing a damn thing. Just pay me when you want me to do it. You want me to do your certification? We'll do the certification. You get an invoice. You want to learn how to do a certification? Go to this website. Go do this. Go do that. And hey, good luck to you. But if you want me on my team to do it, you won't get an invoice. That's how life should work. Everybody should get paid for the work they do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No handouts, basically. No handouts.
Yeah, I'm not going to charge you for no information. If you don't want to apply the information you want me to apply, I need to get paid for that. That's
you right. Hey, that is simple though. You should get paid for the work you do, and then some of the information that you try to pass along to the next guy or the next brother, like you just said, they want you to do the work for them though. And I don't think not all of us have that drive within us and have that drive to want to get up and be successful and be better for ourselves, and not only for ourselves but for our family and stuff. If you got kids or whatnot, or your lady, so. Man, I got a little man and I got a family, so obviously, man, try to, get up and do what I got to do, with the podcast or whatever it is, though. But I think a lot of people just they fall complacent, and just get stuck in this cycle that we call life, and just, I don't know, man. I mean, you gotta want better for yourself at some point, at some point in your life, though. But hey, what keeps you motivated? What inspires you?
Oh man, now it's my kids, man. Now it's my kids. Being a parent is like the dopest thing. I didn't not having my parents around. They still alive and we're cool now, but them not being around, that's been my goal in life, man. Everybody said, "What you want to do later?" I want to be a grandfather. Like I can't wait to be a grandfather and just be the dopest grandfather, and just because I'm behind in generations, man. Like I am setting my own generation straight for my family. And now I got to set the other one straight so that they can actually see what it looks like. Because I'm not around my grandmother. I left my grandmother when I was 18. And, it was cool and everything like that. But she couldn't be who she's supposed to be for me. So I plan on being that for both ones so they can see. My kids can see how a parent's supposed to be and how a grandparent's supposed to be. And so creating those things. So with my businesses, with my investments, things of that nature, like my daughter, she's already a writer herself. She has 2 books, her own nonprofit. That's all we talk about. I created my son plays basketball, so we created a little training situation for him. So we get kids that's younger than him. I bring them in to train, so he trains them and helps them out as well. And he's only 10 at this point, but I want them to see how they can always earn money on their own, as well as the investments and things that I put together for them, so that my estate can keep going while I'm just sitting there with my grandkids and when I check out. So that's the goal, is to set my family straight. I understand the assignment. Everybody's not here to be the super duper billionaire, but I watched what it was like. I'm the first in my family to ever go to college. You know what I'm saying? My son is the first in my family to ever go to private school, so like, these things are that, and I see what that is. So I was like, all right, so now let me be the first one to pay for my kids' college, and not have debt like I had when I came out. Let me make sure that they're set up in a different situation that we've never had in my family. So doing that, now I got a couple little cousins that like 10, 12 years younger than me that starting trying to do some of that, going into the same thing, and that's fine. But I'm the first, and that situation came from me. So it's a dope thing. I understand the assignment, so I'm with it.
Hey, It only could be one first, man. I definitely dig that. Why you say you're a couple of generations behind?
Oh man, because my grandmother, when she came up from, she from South Carolina originally. She came up from South Carolina, no real education. You know, I don't think she graduated high school herself. And she raised. They've been in the system still to this day. For years. And all her children, except for one, she has 8, but only one was successful. My uncle went to the military. But that's it. Everybody else strung out, on drugs, and none of them, a couple of them graduated from high school, but the majority didn't. And so it was a rough situation. So now you got mine, where it's like 20 something grandchildren, and as far as going to college, but it was like 2 of us graduated, 3 went, and the rest, some of them didn't even graduate high school. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, you got generations of us and with my last name that didn't perform at a high level. And so if my kids are seeing that, that's what they're seeing. So I got to catch it up so they can see that same conversation, success. They can see owning homes. They can see, providing for the kids, not letting the system. My family been in the system since the late 60s, getting public assistance. And that broke my heart. About almost 10 years ago, one of my aunts passed away. And my grandmother's sister, another one of my aunts, she was telling the story about how when my grandmother got on assistance, and this was like the late 60s. And I'm like, damn, so y'all been on a system, you've been in the system since the late 60s, and it's like 2014, 15, like it's crazy. So my kids don't know what the hell a system is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's very important, man. You got some young entrepreneurs on your hand too, and I think that's one thing. Me as a father, is to teach my little man. You can make money on your own and stuff. So I definitely dig that though. You said they got their own books and stuff, and they doing their own stuff.
Yeah, my daughter has 2 anti-bullying books. She wrote already, and she has a nonprofit called ABC Anti-Bullying Club. So basically, focusing on motivating and inspiring kids and anti-bullying prevention. And again, my son is into basketball, and I'm not caught up in the NBA hoop dream, but I understand it as a business. And so my thing for him is that it's other ways to make money. And because I run my own business, I didn't have no problem. I put him with some other teams and things of that nature. I'm not that parents say, okay, I'm mad at these people, let me create my own thing. Another guy came to me, wanted to create a team. I put up the bread, he ran off. So here we are with a situation. And so I didn't want to have to do that, but I've made some new relationships. But I wanted my son to go ahead and run with some other AAU situations. So what I did was created this situation and started bringing in kids younger than him. He's 10, so we got 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids that's in there that he can help, he can train. You know what I mean? They can learn from his demonstration. And he still plays himself, but on the weekends we'll have these kids come and learn from him. And so he's getting paid by these parents to work with these kids at a young age. So when he goes to high school, there go his money right there. He goes to college, there's his bread. And we'll continue to do that. We plan on having some tournaments and things like that in his name. The company's called J Square because he's junior. So let him go ahead and see that. That's not my vision, but if that's what he's interested in, let's go ahead and do it. And see now, so he'll be all right. We're going to put him, when he turned 13, he's going to referee camp, because you can be a referee, a full-time referee at 13.
Hey, I like your mindset, man. I definitely like your mindset, because for us black people, we all tend to, football is how you make it, basketball how you make it, and we get caught up in that hoop dream and give some of these kids a lot of false hope, and not realizing, man, it's a small percentage of you gonna make it to the
small
league.
percentage, and it's getting smaller. It's getting smaller now that the NBA players. You understand? You look at like when we were growing up. I don't know how old you are, but I know in the 80s, Michael Jordan and all these people, kids ain't playing in the NBA. Reggie Miller kids ain't in there. Michael Jordan kids ain't in there. Patrick Ewing kids ain't in there. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's like make sure your kid go to the NBA. And so the scouts are just running behind them. Like, all right, we're gonna go get Carmelo Anthony and what's his name's son. Because not only is he going to be a good basketball player, he's also going to have some cachet to him that we can sell. And we can say, oh, they're going to come see because they like him and we could make money off him. They're going to want to buy his jersey, his shoe, all this stuff like that. So the business is different now. So there's going to be less of them going to see these kids. My son's a straight A student. He goes to private school. I'm not worried about him being successful in life. You know, I'm worried. But if this is what you want, I'm going to show you multiple ways to earn money doing it so that you can be successful doing it. And if you can't make it to the NBA, then that's fine. You're totally fine with coaching, training, refereeing in the NBA make $800,000 a year. What are we talking about? And they might ref for 20, 30 years. They stay in shape. They do all the other stuff. Once I found that out, because whatever I do it to the max. So when I started taking it seriously, I took training courses about coaching. I went to CPR classes, did all that other stuff to make sure that when I'm around these people, babies, they're in good hands. And so when they were telling me this stuff, I was like, oh, word? My son, you can be 13? Yeah, as long as they're refereeing kids that's younger than them, he can do it. See, again, somebody hold that information in. I don't care. Use your son if your son was in. Get that joker referee, what's it called? You go ref those little peewee games and get your $50, $60, $75 a night a game. Do 10 games in a weekend. You got some bread.
Yeah, you're right, man. You are totally right, man. I think a lot of people, like you said, get caught up in that dream, man, and then they also go through, the after effects, depression and everything once they realize they don't make it and stuff. So definitely got to put your man into to something else, man. Definitely. Look here, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, J Haleem, man, for coming through here on the podcast. But before we go, though, you got some latest books out. Like, you can tell my
Yeah,
audience
man,
where
I
they can
got
catch it.
four books. And even though some of them are older than others, they're never going out of style. I Won't Starve, of course, is about me. That's my first baby. It's about my story.
Okay.
And then I created the second one was You Won't Starve, Key Principles of Entrepreneur Development. So just telling people how I was able to be a successful entrepreneur. And it's a very short book, but it's basically teaching about 5 principles, talking about being able to hustle while you work, do business on your own level, focusing on market research, networking properly, which I call something called being a cheese, and working on strategic partnerships. That was the 5 things that I did to get me to that point of success. Then motivation. This was right in the thick of the pandemic because people was just talking so negative about the situation when I saw all nothing but opportunities, And so I just want to give up. Morning motivation is consistent encouragement through a crisis. Because I said pandemic was a crisis, but it wasn't going to be the last one. And so we got to know how we're going to be consistently motivated no matter what the situation is. And I think my best book, this is my most recent one, my last one, Business Corner, What's Really Needed to Survive the Entrepreneurial Fight. And it basically talks about people who are in your corner through every portion of entrepreneurship from the start to selling. It's important to have the right people in your corner. And if you look at the picture, it's a boxing ring. And I symbolize that because even Floyd Mayweather had somebody in his corner. And you got to have the right people in your corner, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how gifted you are. Who you have in your corner matters. And this book here goes from soup to nuts, from the beginning of entrepreneurship to you selling the business. And we had to think like that because when we start these businesses and we say we're entrepreneurs, we don't have an exit strategy on our business. We don't know when we're getting out of that business. So
I got you, man.
We are with that. So
Okay. I appreciate it, man. I think that's great entrepreneurship, man, and great books also. All the links will be down below for everyone to check it out and also for you to get your copy, man. For real. Look here, J Haleem, man. Been awesome having you on. Before you go, also, man, any questions? Any shout out, anything you like to say?
Man, thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on your platform. Again, as you said, go just hit hashtag IWontStarve and put that in your Google search and you'll see what we're doing. IWontStarve Academy, helping out these young boys and young kids, period. But, going around speaking, we've sponsored students and schools, whole schools. We've adopted them. So that's some of the stuff that we're doing. We're giving back. Again, jhaleem.com is, you go in there, you see what I do personally. And I am J Haleem on all my social media platforms. Just tap in with me, so you see what we're doing on a regular basis. But it's just been a pleasure. And then talk to somebody from DC. I wish you could ship me some of that seafood.
Hey, most definitely, man. Some good seafood here, though. I don't personally, my fiance would definitely be crushing it, though, man. I can't necessarily eat it, though. I'm allergic to it. But boy, when they be having the crabs and the shrimps, man, be having the whole house smelling good, though. But yo, it's amazing having you on. Can't wait to have you on again, though. I appreciate it a lot. Actually, the wheelchair man is here to bring my other wheelchair back because I've been having the manual wheelchair for the whole weekend, so he's actually waiting for me. But other than that, man, this has been great.
Good, brother.
Great time chatting with you. I like brothers like you, man. Got a great head on your shoulders and know how to just, prevail, man, and just keep going. And like you said, you won't starve, I won't starve. So I dig that mantra, man. Definitely dig the mantra. The links will be down below, jhaleem.com. Go check him out, man, if you want him to speak wherever, man. And I'll definitely get you a copy of his book. We're going to take a quick break right after this. Now we got the WTF moment. We're going to wrap up the show. You're listening and you're watching to the 1130 podcast.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, that's right. New merch. Yes, new merch is available now. Head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to place your order. I have t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, hats, you name it. Everything you want from the 1130 podcast is right here in one place. So head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to pick you up some monumental gear ahead of the new season of the 1130 podcast. Go get you some now.
TV is more than cable for less than cable. More unexpected plot twists. Ooh. Less unexpected fees. More committing to new shows. Ooh. Less committing to an annual contract. More being held in suspense. Less being held on hold. More modern, more simple, more than cable for less than cable. Try YouTube TV for free.
What's good? What's happening? What's going on? Yo, it's me, Brian B. That's right, and I'm telling you guys to head on over to YouTube today and make sure you subscribe to the Beeline Entertainment LLC. Check us out. We all over the place.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weedson.
This your boy DOE, Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 1130 podcast. Mm-hmm. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 1130 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the short break, man. For real, I had to go grab my chair. The wheelchair man was here, so I'm back in my chair, man. For real, I was talking about this story with the guys on Commission Talk before we went live on Commission Talks last week, man, and how we was doing an episode and my wheel had broke off and stuff, and I was just like, wow, are you serious? So yeah, man, throughout the whole weekend, I was without a chair. I was without a chair, so now I got my baby back. So enough of that though. But yo, J Haleem, I appreciate you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show this week. Great time chatting with you. Great time chopping it up with you, man. From going to make what $6-7 an hour to being the man, and thank you for coming on the show and sharing the come up, man. And man, hey, I talk about it a couple of times with a couple of gentlemen, especially young kids to the youth who think sometimes sports, man, is the end all be all, man. And you know, I can't remember what team he played for. It was Georgia or Ohio State. He played for the Carolina Panthers right now, Bryce Young. And I remember watching him in college football. And he having a rough start right now, though. But let's see how things play out. And only the best, and only a select few gets to remain in the NFL. I went to school with a guy named Dion Long, man. He played on the Los Angeles Rams. I don't think he no longer plays in the NFL no more. But like, man, it's a Grammy league, man. Like I said, only the best will succeed and get picked. And like I said, it's only 53, 52 players on the team. And starting out it's like a 90, so you gotta cut like a bunch of people, man. But long story short, man, go after your dreams, and man, sports is just not it, man. So definitely find what you are good at. So once again, all the links are down below, so you can definitely follow, pick up some merch, and subscribe to all of J Holland content, man. For real. Thank you so much for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast, man. Great show. Really, really great show. But we're gonna move on, you guys. Before I wrap it on up, man, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, yes. WTF moment of the week, man. And yo, man, here in DC, man, the weather is okay right now. It's getting a little chilly outside, and not my favorite time of the year. But I know it's the holiday season coming up, and my birthday is next month. And also, we celebrating 4 years of the 11:30 podcast, man. So I'm definitely excited for all that, and also 200 episodes of the 11:30 podcast next year, man. Like I'm thrilled, man. I'm really thrilled. I'm beyond blessed. I'm humble. I'm really excited though. But man, here in DC, man, there's some wild folks, man. I'm pretty sure some wild folks everywhere. Florida, New York, Texas. Yeah, it's just whew, boy, this world is crazy though. But you guys, man, WTF. It seems like here in DC, I guess, you know, it been some time since the last Grand Theft Auto came out, and it just seemed like some of these I don't even know what to say, man, or what to call them people, man. But it just seem like they just want to steal ambulances, man. Like, like what's up with that though? WTF moment. I believe it was a couple of nights ago, where in DC a uh uh EMS was, I think it was on the way to helping the scene. Man, I just read this story, but the EMS was helping someone, and someone came up to try to rob the EMS, and somehow the guy got the suspect down who had the gun, and he held the suspect until the police come. Like, bro, like that could have been it for him though. For the EMS guy. That could have been it for him. But the fact that he said, you know what, dog, hey, we all trying to make it back home at the end of the day. Excuse me. We got kids. We got family. We got people that we depend on, and they depend on us, and we got to be there for them, man. So kudos to them, man. But yo, WTF, man. If you haven't heard about this story, it's similar situation. A guy steals an ambulance. The ambulance was called to a scene, man. And it was helping the individual. And this guy was just on a whole nother level, man. In this little truck, he run through all the lights, man, crashing into all the cars, and he get out of his car to crash in his car, and come to a point where this ambulance is on scene helping someone else. He get an ambulance, still the ambulance, man. Still the ambulance, man, driving all over the place and crashed in DC. And they got, man, check this crazy out, man.
Video shows the moments chaos erupted on I-395 in Virginia around 3:40 Saturday afternoon. A man who police have identified as 30-year-old Daryl Caldwell driving a stolen truck from Falls Church, crashing into drivers stuck in traffic. Just moments earlier, state police say he caused a crash on I-66 and fled the scene. But it didn't stop there. Watch this. After hitting several cars on 395 near exit 10, he gets stuck on the median. Police say he takes off, and moments later, in another truck, he gets on the GW Parkway going the wrong way and hits another driver. Now, while responding to the 395 crash, crews inside an Arlington County Fire Department ambulance come up on the GW crash and stop to help. But while they're doing this, cops say Caldwell steals their ambulance.
We just had a pedestrian jump in our medic unit and take off with our medic unit.
Someone stole a medic unit?
Yeah, the suspect who bailed out from the crash on 395. He took another vehicle and jumped into a medic unit.
State police immediately start pursuing.
In pursuit of an ambulance going 27 northbound 395.
At one point, cops say he rammed a state police cruiser.
Has rammed a VSP vehicle.
And hit other drivers along the way.
I'm all right. It's been a day.
Haley Ruggiero says she was right near the airport.
I had the green light and I was crossing traffic going to the left, and I got rear-ended by the ambulance.
She watched as the driver continued on, as did the cop who was following behind.
I was like, why aren't they stopping for me?
Little did she know the driver was in fact not a first responder. The chase continued across the 14th Street Bridge and into D.C., where police say Caldwell finally crashed.
Everything's under control right now.
Video shows the moments he was taken into custody.
WTF, man. WTF all the way, man. And in the mugshot, they don't make it no better, dog. Like, for real, he had all 5 stars. I seen a comment on something. I seen a couple of comments, actually. And some of the comments were 5 stars. And if you play Grand Theft Auto, man, you get the 1 star. Okay, you get 1 star. Police chasing after you. You lose them. Or if you don't lose them, you got 2 stars. Now okay, all right, they chasing after you. 3, 4, 5, man, you got 5 stars. You got, man, the whole SWAT team. You had everybody out there, dog. You stole the ambulance, man. And I think that's how it is. I ain't played Grand Theft Auto in a while, though. But when you do steal like an ambulance or a police car, man, it's automatically 5 stars, boy. They coming after your ass. Yo, WTF, man, all the way. Definitely all the way. Yo, man, once again, J Haleem, I appreciate you for coming through here on the 1130 podcast show. Great time vibing with you. Thank everyone for tuning in and the major support. I thank you guys to the most, man, to the fullest. And I'm coming up on 4 years. I gotta think about what I'm gonna do, man, for all of the supporters who support the 1130 podcast, everybody who tuned in, watch, subscribe, like, share. I gotta do like a giveaway or something, man. So coming up on 4 years. I love this. I was just talking to a young lady about, just finding passion and purpose, man, and I'm loving every bit of this. I'm loving every bit of it. It's fun. I ain't gonna keep rambling on though, but like I said, I gotta do something like a giveaway or whatever, man, because I appreciate everyone to the fullest supporting the 1130 podcast, man, and just hear me, just inspire people, man, or hear other people's stories to uplift them and inspire them. So yeah, man, that's that. Other than that, you guys, man, Talk Pro Wrestling is live this week, man. It's a Commission Talks episode, so we're gonna be live Wednesday 5 p.m. on the 1130 podcast YouTube channel, and then the 1130 podcast Talk Pro Wrestling will return next week on Fridays. So it's going to be a live episode this week on Wednesday, and it will return next week on Friday, you guys. Also, Beyond 1130, man, definitely will return this fall, man. So I cannot wait to dive into that and talk some more grown folks talk, man. So that's gonna be awesome. Shout out to Buzzing with Marlo, my guy Warren Marlo. I can't never get it right. My man Warren Marlo, host of Buzzing with Marlo. My guy Blackheart from Up the Top Ropes podcast. Brian B, the host of the Beeline Entertainment LLC. And shout out to everyone that I had on the podcast so far as guests. Thank everyone, man. Really thank everyone. Before I head on out of here, you guys, man, don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 1130 Podcast on TikTok at the 1130 Podcast, at the 1130 Podcast on Facebook. Hit that like button, man. Definitely like the 1130 Podcast on Facebook. Follow the 1130 Podcast on Instagram at the 1130 Podcast underscore on Instagram. And what else, man? On X at the 1130 Podcast. And if you haven't done so this entire episode, definitely subscribe, man. Yes, hit that subscribe button down below. Tell a friend about the 1130 Podcast, man. And yo, man, I appreciate the love, man. Definitely appreciate the love. I'm about to head on out of here, you guys, man. Until next time, you guys be safe, man. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Be blessed. Give all the glory to God. I'm all tongue-tied, man. All tongue-tied, man. You guys stay safe. Stay blessed. Give all the glory to God, man. He will do it, man, for real. Yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 Podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 Podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. He the one, nigga. So let's get it, baby. He the one. Who with me? So breeze, baby. Let's get it. You with me? Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wills, you know it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some options. We blessed, we ain't got no problems. Speak something